As Jinger Duggar is expecting her third child, she's looking back on the previous births that have happened in her family. As fans of 19 Kids and Counting On already know, many of the Duggar women have elected to give birth to their babies alone. But Jinger said that after seeing some of those births turn into very scary experiences, she's not ever planning to follow in their footsteps. On an episode of the Jinger and Jeremy podcast, Jinger said that although some of her sisters have chosen to give birth at home, she noticed that they weren't without incident. Most of them were transported, had issues in their labor.
It was scary, she said.
After seeing the way her family's previous births panned out, Jeremy told Jinger they wouldn't be having a home birth, and as it turns out, she was on the same page, adding that it was very scary. When you're having to make emergency calls and you all of a sudden are starting to think about the life of the baby or the life of the mother, Jeremy said, it seemed like a no-brainer to go to the hospital with all of the technological advances we've made. Why wouldn't you have the baby in the hospital and mom and baby can be monitored, she asked. It's certainly interesting to hear this because Jinger's sisters, including her BFF, Jessa, who Jinger has always been close with, have had plenty of home births, though it's becoming less common in their family these days. As one person pointed out in a Reddit post, it seems like she's shading Jessa in particular, who had to be transported to the hospital immediately after or during more than one of her home births. Massive shade on Jessa and Ben, one commenter wrote. Another shared, if it's shade towards anyone, it would be Jill and Jana. Jana was openly critical of Jinger getting an epidural, and Jill risked her first two children's and her own lives by attempting home births. Some of my sisters have been through a bit of a tough time with labor and delivery, so I have decided just to go ahead and switch to the hospital. I think that just puts me at ease knowing, okay, if I need anything, it's here, Jinger said ahead of the birth of her first daughter Felicity, on an episode of Counting On. And I think it'll help me be more relaxed in the long run. Counting on alum Jinger Duggar is back with a new podcast amid her pregnancy with her third child. The 30-year-old mom has been documenting her pregnancy over the past few weeks. Many of her podcasts with Jeremy also relate to her upcoming child. However, some Redditors were surprised when Jinger seemingly shaded her sister, Jessa, in her latest post. Keep reading to see why. Last October, Jinger and Jeremy revealed they were expecting a third child. During an interview, the Counting On alums shared that they're super excited about the upcoming addition to their family. Jinger added that her pregnancy is not as big as her previous ones, making her confident that everything will turn out smoothly. The married couple has also revealed that they already know the gender of their third child, but they're planning to host a gender reveal party before revealing it to the public. Some Redditors discussed Jinger Duggar's latest podcast, in which she and Jeremy talked about home births. According to the Counting On alum, she's not against home birth, but she has her reason as to why she'd prefer giving birth in the hospital. She then mentioned some of her sisters having home births and were later transferred to hospitals due to complications, adding that it was scary. The married couple then talked about the dangers of having home births, especially when the mother needed to make emergency calls when complications happened mid-labor. However, the Reddit user thinks it was a shade to Jinger's sister, Jessa, who experienced so many issues, including a scary 48-hour labor, which ultimately forced her to change her plans of natural home birth. Jeremy putting his foot down and saying hell no to a home birth is probably the most sensible thing he's ever done. And shade on Jana for being shady and judgmental toward her for getting an epidural, as if Jana had any room to speak on that. Jessa, Jill, and Joy all tried home births and had to be transferred. My takeaway from this, Jinger, and probably Jessa, don't know what holistic means. I would say Jessa's home births were not holistic. She did not take care of her physical and mental needs. She prioritized her social needs over her physical health. Not only is Jinger shading Jessa and Jana, but also she lost her hillbilly twang. This tells me that she wants to get rid of anything to do with Arkansas regarding her identity. Aside from her pregnancy, Jinger Duggar has also been documenting their holidays. Recently, the Counting On alum uploaded clips from their new home as they decorate for the Christmas season. She captioned, "Okay, we're officially ready for Christmas." They also have a huge indoor Christmas tree, which they already put up before Thanksgiving. It's unclear if a gender reveal party will be held this month. But some fans speculate that Jinger and Jeremy may wait till next year for the much-awaited reveal. After United Healthcare CEO killing suspect Luigi Mangione was arrested and charged earlier this week, the internet has been weighing in with a lot of opinions and even more memes. Even Jinger Duggar couldn't resist throwing in her thoughts about Luigi being turned in by a McDonald's employee, but it isn't exactly winning her any points with fans. Following the shooting, police have been trying to track down a suspect, and this week, they finally made an arrest. Luigi Mangione, 26, was found at an Altoona, Pennsylvania, McDonald's after an employee turned him in. According to multiple news outlets, including NBC News, Mangione has since been formally charged with murder, along with 3 counts of criminal possession of a weapon and 1 count of possession of a forged instrument. In an Instagram Stories post that included a selfie of her eating a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit from McDonald's, Jill wrote, "Not me McDonald's this morning, feeling completely empowered and extra justified in my people-watching skills after the McDonald's patron caught the murder suspect in PA yesterday." Though Jill mentioned a patron, it was actually a McDonald's employee who alerted police that Luigi was in their restaurant. A screenshot of Jill's Instagram Stories post about the situation has made its way to Reddit, where people don't seem surprised at all that Jill would have this take, especially in light of the fact that many people have voiced their support for Luigi over the past week. "I dislike her more and more every time she posts. Also, it's giving desperate for attention," one person wrote. Another commenter shared, "The whole family is disgusting. Jill's no better than the rest of them." Some people pointed out that they thought Jill's own struggle with medical bills after giving birth to her son Samuel would have given her a different perspective. The irony of imploding your entire life based on unexpected emergency healthcare expenses, then being a health insurance industry bootlicker a few years later. "Get bent, Jill," read one comment, while another shared, "Girl, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't your family falling out start off with your dad not paying your medical bills? Remember 1. She was never taught how to read a room. 2. She has limited experience, if any, dealing with commercial insurance. Not an excuse, but remember, she's posting about something she doesn't understand and honestly probably sees the CEO solely as a victim to being murdered," one person wrote. With such a hot-button topic, it's inevitable that people are going to disagree, and with how unusual the Duggar family's lives have been, it's hard to say for sure how Jill's opinion would be informed on this one.